Once again, karibuni tena ladies night, and my name is Laura Mbatha, just in case una to join sasa hivi, and tuko na a new panel of guests, very beautiful ladies. Mnakaa vizuri sana. If I do say so myself, and I'd really like you to introduce yourself because we're going into a topic that watu wengi deal nayo on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes it's a personal issue, others allow people into their lives, but of course, this is matters skin. Leo tunaongelea skin and how to deal with things which you have no control over sometimes. So please, Wacha, could you introduce, starting with you?
Okay, my name is Remy Majala, and I have been in the media industry for a while. So I'm happy to be here kwa show yako. Nashukuru sana.
Thank you. Umenishtua kiasi, I'm like, hey, chapa intro moja heavy and hajuelewa.
Pole too.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Wendy Gashara. I am a content creator and I'm really, really happy to be here.
Of course, and my friend, because Atakim Dweb, we have history, but that is here, neither here nor there. So, of course, you're here to discuss the topic today, not the topic today per se, but it's matters skin. And personally, I've dealt with acne, still dealing with acne. Not necessarily acne, but acne scarring as a result of acne. And I mean, William say, like, it doesn't bother me nowadays, but there was a time it was a challenge for me. So what's your experience with this condition?
I go.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I've not per se had acne or so. I've had a lot of skin irritation, which I had since I was a child. And most so like around 9 years old. So I would have pigmentations on my face. I'm lighty, I'm darky and everything. And I was on a lot of skin care medication ever since I was little. So what happened is now when I would do my shows and stuff, it would be bad. Especially when I'm on my hormonal days and stuff, it would be insanely crazy. So through a lot of treatment, seeing a lot of dermatologists, at the end of the day, what worked for me were very natural remedies that were not necessarily what I was told or advised to in the past. So it doesn't make me shy, just like yourself. It's something that I had to deal with. And I saw that with me just not keeping it too much to mind, it didn't affect me in my self-esteem or so, but it just made me not comfortable. You know, a lot. Like I had to do something, which I eventually did.
So
Yeah.
we'll get back to what exactly maybe your suggestions are. What's your journey like?
My journey has been completely different from hers. I've never been with a problematic skin. My skin has just been normal. I used to have small rashes on my forehead, especially on my hormonal days, but those ones just come and go. But in regards to skin, my skin has never been prone to acne or it has just been okay. Let me just say okay.
Okay. But in general, it's not necessarily acne, like it's just confidence in your own skin. Whether it's skin color or whatnot, you know, it's all urgent because I could be dealing with acne, but someone is like, at least you're light skin, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But you could be having all such beautiful skin and you're like, ningekuwa na kaka Laura, I'd be much better off. So it's not necessarily acne, but it's just accepting ourselves with who we are and what we have. Like for me, for instance, in high school, first of all, I had no option because like Form 3, Form 4, top layer is a must, and that's where all the oil is. So, you know, I'm not doing myself any favors.
For sure.
Of course, canteen, pia, a negative blue band, because why else would you be having breakfast without blue band, you know? But of course, I wasn't doing myself any favors, and it was a really hard time because girls in their teenage years are just evil, and I do not take this back. If we went to school together and you were in high school with me, you're all evil. That's why I do not talk to any of you. I'm joking, but of course, it's something that does happen. I remember once I had a friend who called me polka dot face. I'm like, where are you now? You know, that's me now. But back then I was like, okay, I'll go retreat in my corner and be like, you know what, I'll embrace who I am. And my personality is what made me come out, you know. So I'm sure you've met people who are like, oh, Wendy, you know, you're beautiful. Nini, nini. There's things they love about you, but you're also struggling with something. Of course, everyone. In terms of body, not necessarily skin or whatnot. And you are a vlogger, yes? Yeah. I have seen some of your vlogs you've done like skin routines and whatnot. and someone is looking at you, like, especially that, like, sometimes I feel like vloggers are selling us things I don't relate to, and that's what she says, like, you found things that work for you. So I'm looking at your vlog and I'm looking at your skin, I'm like, wow, what are you living? But I like it, you know. So how do you relate to people like us?
Wow. In terms of skin, or
Skin, body, whatnot.
body and everything.
And just accepting yourself in your own skin.
Okay. So you said, like you said, I'm a vlogger, yes, and you said something that we sell something that we are not, but we also go through some things. Like, we don't mostly share things that we like hurt us. We don't, we are not open to things that we are not comfortable with. That's the truth. But we're also going through some stuff. Like I said, I never had a problematic skin, but I've always had an issue with my weight. I've always been the bigger girl in my class. I've always been the chubby one, and I've always had issues with that. And it came to a point where I just realized I need to be confident in my own skin, and that did not happen overnight. Of course, even me starting my YouTube channel, I went back and forth thinking, should I start? I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm pretty enough. Those things were also going through my head, and it just starts with a little bit of courage and just telling yourself you can do it. And everybody's also going through something. Like I said, you look so nice, you look so pretty, but I never even thought that acne could be something that you can.
And you know, it's funny because when I met you, I think we were a group of friends, like just immediately after high school. I just think you were so beautiful. And I look at you and I'm like, because, you know, like, well, what's the point? But I get what you're saying. And like you said, you know, you find out what really bothers you. Not necessarily like it affects your confidence or whatnot, but you're just not fully yourself. And it's not necessarily your esteem, but it just comes and reflects in other things. You end up doing too much makeup, but of course your confidence should be like, my choice in makeup or whatnot. So what sort of remedies did you come up with?
So, like I told you, I had a lot of, you know, like the mainstream kind of treatments. Dermatologists would require like ointments and the like. But I ended up now doing the black soaps, the shea butters and the stuff. That is what worked for me. But there's a time it was so bad when I was having the blemishes on my face. There's a time I had to go back to work from leave, and I was supposed to do a process called electrolysis, you know, which basically just you use heat through an electric current to burn blemishes on your face. So if you are being called polka dot, I look like a cheetah or something.
Imagine.
And I was so unwise because the burnt part of my face, what they, you know, walichoma, it fell off like on a, you know, Sunday evening, and Monday was work. So I was pink in some places. So I told the makeup artist, please, I'm coming to work tomorrow and this is a disaster for me. And she did 1 hour on my face with concealers, a lot of concealer, I mean, and a lot of foundation and stuff for me to even appear on air. And even when I would see myself through the monitor, I was still looking hideous. That day after the show, I was getting texts, what's wrong with your face? What's going on with you? What's with that? And that's when I realized that, you know, like I said before, it didn't really give me a perspective or give me an issue of self-esteem. It just made me more aware that when you're on a platform like yourself, you have to be very conscious. Like, you can't just make stupid decisions because you want to fix things quickly. You know, so I had to get other ways of having to face that through the week, because it didn't disappear in the week. It got better, but I still got nasty texts. Nilikuwa nakaa kama part of the cat family, wild animals. So that was this part of, you know, how I dealt with that and got out of that, you know, funk for that time.
And I mean, my question was, ulijaribu kitunguu? Like, I used to hear that all the time. Ushai paka nyanya ama mayai, avocado, and I'm like,
mayai,
bananas,
asali, your
mashed
mixture.
bananas, mayai na avocado, and I'm like, I'm not trying to make a snack. I'm trying to fix
and
my
honey
face.
and everything.
But my biggest thing is how everyone, like the way you say, for me, you're too different, because usually everyone who's talking about skin is always, it affected my self-esteem. For you, it did none of that. And that's wonderful. I wish I had that. Because secretly I was dying, but outwardly, you know, I was everyone's favorite person. But
You look bomb though.
Yeah.
so,
sure.
besides that, yani, what I'm trying to say is, the people outside always look and have things to say, as if umekaa pahali and you're like, oh, I see these things, but I'm good. Yes, I know. Like for me, on a daily basis, I don't need makeup. When I'm with my family, hawataka wananiambie, oh, Laura unajua nini? Hizi vitu hazikai vizuri. They'll chill with me and we'll just have a good time. But it's the outward people, this is what they want to see, so you need to fix. Like for you, I feel like that was what was happening. Because when you're with your people, your tribe understands, you know, find your tribe and vibe with it. Ulikuwa na tribe yako, and no one had a problem. The problem was these people who don't know you and have all these opinions. So what about you makes it possible for you to just be happy in who you are? And despite the maybe, you know, for the purposes of the career you're pursuing, ni necessary ukai, there's a certain look one expect. So other than that, I'm sure you would have just lived your life to the fullest. So what is it in you that makes you so confident and think like this has to affect?
Well, I think in this industry, media, to be specific, I don't think it gets easier on appearance or personality. I think it's something that you develop a thick skin through, because everyone has an opinion on how you look or your weight and stuff like that. But I'm very fortunate to have had my father who spoke a lot of life into me for a while. Like her, one of the issues I had to deal with growing up was my weight. I did not appreciate my body. So the funny thing is, even after giving birth to my sons and everything, I made exercise, health, fitness a lifestyle with me, you know, to me rather, and in everything I did, because I felt if I have mental willpower and I am confident in myself, in how I look, anything external coming to me cannot, you know, waver the way I feel or even how I look. So I think whatever my dad planted in me since I was little, that honestly is the voice that keeps on resonating a lot with, you know, my work and everything I do. Because like yourself, I'm sure if you gave us your full story in this industry, you would be like, wow, it's a thing, like it's really hard, you know, because even having a personal style or the way you look, even this, and you look amazing, someone else may be not comfortable with that. So I've had to really ground myself and see myself, and I say, I mean, if this is how I was created, then I'm good. I look fine. So I wouldn't put to mind a lot of things that would affect me, even if they would, but not into my mind that, you know, I can't do something because so-and-so has an opinion. I really, honestly block that out. I don't give that space.
But briefly, just a short commercial break. Of course, first of all, this cast, wamekuja hapa kuni gas up, you know, like, I look amazing and whatnot. I don't hear this all the time, so see me changanya. But I like what you're saying, and I approve the message. Just because of this shouldn't hinder you from going for what you want. Like even if inakuwa affect, it doesn't have to change your whole perspective about things. And when you said something about you dealing with weight, so say we live in a time where it's thick girls, THICC, you know, and the rest of us are left in the shadows. So maybe let me turn the question to you. Do you feel like there's a time when, because there was a time when if you weren't a certain weight, you couldn't do this. Stretch marks have been accepted. Do you feel like there's a time blemishes, hyperpigmentation, scarring, because it's part of life. These are things you don't choose and say, you know, I like scars on my hand, so this whole side, you know, is just gonna be scars the whole week. Then next week I'll try this side. Do you ever feel like there's a time that will come and that will be acceptable?
Yeah, I mean, when I got in the media industry, that was 2008, around 2009, I mean, I saw perfection on air. I saw the definition of what was beauty. For you guys, I think
by the time I was watching TV in 2008, if you were not a natural beauty, it was like naturally flawless. It was difficult.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but present day, we're in a time where you cannot put anyone in a corner because of the way they look. their skin color, brown skin girls for that matter, your natural hair, the way your swag is, the way you rock. I think it's so important that people kept on drumming a message until they tore down stereotypes that we were used to, and I had to fight my own battle. Like I have been very defiant. I don't like fitting in boxes. I believe that as long as you're on this platform, like the way you're confident and very bold about yourself and you say your story, that means there's a demographic that would be inspired. And I feel like each one of us, even yourself, we are here to set a path. So if there's someone who'd watch Laura or Wendy or myself, then they'll see there is somewhere I need to go. So I took the platform seriously. In my define, I don't want fakeness. I don't want you to insist that I have to have a particular kind of hair or I have to have a particular kind of swag. This is me. This is how I want to be. And I will be professional and I will do my job. So true. I feel now it's easier for us women especially to gain a particular identity and wear it, as opposed to be put in a box, or I cannot be this way, or I'm too slim, I'm too thin, or I'm too thick, or I don't have big hips or a big ass. Zishindo hizo vitu though.
True. When your experiences, you've dealt with it, and now you're here. How was that transition from, oh, I feel sorry for myself, oh, I can't wear this, to, you know what, I'm doing something about it. One, I'm either exercising and changing it, or two, I'll just be happy in this, if it was God-given, in the weight I have. How was your journey for you?
My journey was not so great because it really affected me. It affected me so bad. I used to sit, just cry, especially in high school. People are very, very mean.
Wambie, look at them and tell them how they ruined your life.
People are mean. You are mean. So, I mean, it was not easy. And so after I finished high school and all that, I started transitioning and just loving myself, especially now that, social media started accepting like bigger girls and everything, but it's not the case, because some of the time you'll be like, oh my God, I'm so confident.
There's a type of big
exactly.
Like she said,
exactly. You're confident. Today it's a good day. Tomorrow it's a fat day. You just don't know, and you just go through that phase and it's there, but you just have to think like what's important for you. Are you okay being that way? For me, I exercise, but since I was pregnant with my
congratulations,
thank you, with my son, it has been a little bit shaky. It's not easy trying to get back into the exercising and all that, but I'm just giving myself time and just loving my body and the image, and loving my body as it is right now, as we look for becoming more healthier.
Of course, it's a wonderful thing when you learn to accept yourself and decide this is what I'm changing and what I'm not changing. Like you said, you found natural regimens that work for you. Do you share this? And this is one thing I usually do. I tell people I'm a fan of theirs, but I have to prove it. So I have watched your YouTube channel, some of them, especially your intro, very amazing. Like when you're just introducing your channel, the cinematography and whatnot. Do you share these tips with other people who could be facing the same thing?
Well, I'm not as active on YouTube as such. What I do is on social media, I choose content which I'll put out. But whenever I'm with my girlfriends or I speak to people who ask me, have been able to get through some certain aspects, what I do is I just tell them, listen, there's something called black soap. There's something called even bar soap.
Yeah, for me,
for real, seriously.
Nyindo a lot also na nyanya.
The sunlight.
Coconut oil. I advertise a lot of that. No, oh my God. Let me take that back. I say that works for me. I don't advertise. I say that works for me because it has, and it still does. So anything natural, in the way God gave it to us, that is what for me works. And I mean, like I said, the shea butter, the raw ones especially, the black soap, that really works for my skin, and because I always feel fresh. Like I feel like my pores are open, and stuff, and I don't wear makeup when I don't need to wear it. I don't even bother with that anymore because I did it for so long that it became a routine, and then you end up getting used to it, and then when you're supposed to not be wearing it, you feel weird, which
I think it comes with
to
the
your
territory, yeah?
yeah, which adds to your bad skin problems, which you already do have. So
Sometimes you're late from work and you're like, "No, Janine, today I'll just sleep. I'll wash my face tomorrow."
I know, like in your wet wipes, Joe, wet wipes, you know.
I said,
Wet
big
wipes are my
wet
best
wipes
friend.
are always at the side of the
I
lights
know.
off, in
Yes,
darkness, you know.
yes.
But like you said, you find something that works for you. But people go to extremes, and one, the question I would like you to answer, is it because of pleasing other people? Because all these things, you wouldn't know what's wrong with you if other people didn't point it out. You know, is it, so when you decide to change these things, is it as to please other people, ama, do you feel it's a personal journey?
Well, first of all, I don't even blame anyone who has the pressure of just trying to look good and try to fit into what they think they should be. You know, I swear this is a whole journey. And I think that when you speak about body posture or appearance or your face, it's connected to so many things. You know, so your face can, like, I don't feel anymore that I can disassociate my face and my body without thinking of other things, you know, like esteem. Everything is interconnected one way or another. But long story short, I feel like everyone comes from a place, and you have to make a conscious decision to get out of it, you know. And like I said, my fortunate situation and reality was I had a father, and I still do have my father, who drummed a lot of positivity, mental will strength, and all that to face it. Of course, I went through anything any other girl goes through: weight issues, face issues, like you just have issues with yourself. But I've never, to be honest, had like such a deep self-esteem issue. What I would say, quote unquote, self-esteem issues came in other ways. You know, I would still freak out a lot, you know, in front of people and stuff, but I would be okay once the camera comes on. Like my issues were different. They were not the same. But I mean, fluctuation, who doesn't have that? Today you wake up, you're like, I am Beyonce. And then tomorrow you're like, oh my God, I hate myself. You know, every single person, even the people we look up to. So I'm like, once I knew that, niliacha kujistress tu. I'm like, unajua nini mimi?
Umesema like you wake up one day una feel Beyonce, and then the other time is something different. Then I remembered my mom and I were arguing, and it's time to report her to the people. And everyone says I look like my mom. I even told her, Juicy, I look exactly. We had an argument. She's like, kwanza ni sura mbaya unakaa tu baba yako. And I started, and I'm like, you know, you might be right. Like, I might look like that man. And some things like people say, I'm making fun of my mom, but like I understand what you're saying. Like sometimes you feel that type of way. Like even things she didn't mean, because I understand she was angry. You sometimes sit and reflect and you're like, wow, someone said that to me. And for you, especially being a mom now, to a boy, right?
Yes.
Maybe he won't deal with the same things. But of course, guys have their own type of body issues and whatnot. But there's an image you want to put out. Like, you know, women are like this. For them, this is the type of woman you should have in your life. Like, this is how you should treat a woman. Not necessarily that sounded very misogynistic, but there's a way you're supposed to be around women. This is what you should do in women. So what is your maybe plan, short-term plan, by the time he's like 5? Don't talk 15, that's really far away.
My plan is to tell him that to respect every woman, and I hope that's what you asked. Oh, okay. Respect every woman, and every woman is beautiful. You'll meet light skins, dark skins, slim, thick, whichever. I think that's a very important thing to instill in him when he's very young, is just to every woman is beautiful in their own way. They're not the same.
And like for you, you had an amazing dad as per what you've told us. But maybe, you know, some people like us, like I'm not very open. So my mom doesn't know I deal with certain things, or my brother doesn't know. So a lot of the battles I have, I fight on my own. What would you tell someone? How do they find that kind of confidence?
Well, like Wendy, I'm also a mom. I have 2 sons.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I learned a lot that you have to speak into your child what you want them to become. And I don't blame parents anymore because children are different, and even opening up, it's my father who had to talk to me for me to open up. You know, I don't think we just sometimes want to even tell our parents some issues because they would die if they knew everything. Yeah. So what I just tell everyone, and I try my best through example, is, you know, you have to begin the journey with yourself, because we are the ones who create our realities, and we can be able to, you know, like live and create truly what we believe in. Like, I don't think you can sit here if you didn't believe you could.
That's for another day.
So I was saying, like, I believe in that. You know, part of my mental strength is I'm on a journey, and I don't want anyone to tell me about myself if I don't know who I am. So that's the same thing I'll tell any other person. I'll tell my children, I tell everyone. We are personal, and before I go 6 feet under, I want to make sure that, you know, anyone around me, anyone I care about, anyone I can reach knows that. Yeah.
Of course, Ametupatia, like the last sentiments, being parents and all, like what their legacies and how they want to mold their kids into being. Tunaenda break kiasi, but when we come back, tunarudi na an expert on matters skin. Usiende fahali.